I used to think marriage was supposed to feel like coming home. Instead, I felt like a ghost haunting my own house. Lily, honey, your lunch is on the counter. I called out, zipping up her backpack. She was 6 now, all bright eyes and missing front teeth. Thanks, Mommy, she sang, bouncing past me. Ethan tugged at my sleeve. Mommy, can we have pancakes? Not today, baby. We're running late. I kissed his forehead, smoothing down his cowlick that never stayed flat. The morning routine was mechanical. Pack lunches, wipe counters, kiss the kids good, bye at the bus stop, come home to an empty house that somehow felt even emptier than when I left it. David's coffee mug sat in the sink. He'd left at 6:30 without saying goodbye. Again, I washed it anyway. By the time evening rolled around, I'd cleaned the same kitchen twice, folded 3 loads of laundry, and stared at my phone for an hour, hoping anyone, would text me. My college friends had their own lives now. Sarah was busy with her career. My mom only called to criticize. The front door opened at 8:45. Hey, David mumbled, barely looking up from his phone as he walked past me. Hi, how was work? Busy. He loosened his tie, heading straight for his laptop on the dining table. Did the kids eat? Yes, hours ago. I saved you a plate. I ate at the office. Of course he did. I stood there in the kitchen doorway, waiting for him to notice me, to ask about my day, to remember that I existed beyond meal prep and childcare. He didn't look up. I'm going to check on the kids, I said, mmhm. I climbed the stairs, peeked into Lily and Ethan's rooms, both sleeping peacefully, and then locked myself in the bathroom. The mirror showed a woman I barely recognized. When did I become so invisible? I remembered when David used to bring me flowers, when his eyes would light up seeing me walk into a room, when he'd pull me onto his lap just because he wanted me close. Now I was just part of the furniture. I'm going to bed. David called from downstairs. No good night. No coming up soon. Just a statement of fact. I stared at my reflection until my eyes blurred with tears. I was too tired to cry. Ryan Mitchell wasn't supposed to change anything. He was just David's college buddy, someone who showed up to backyard barbecues and talked about the good old days. But that Saturday afternoon, something shifted. Emily, this potato salad is incredible, Ryan said, walking into my kitchen with an empty bowl. Seriously, what's your secret? I looked up from cutting vegetables, surprised. Oh, it's nothing special. Little bit of dill. Well, it's amazing. David's lucky. He smiled and something in my chest tightened. Through the window, I could see David on the patio with 3 other guys from college, all of them hunched over someone's phone, probably looking at code or some tech thing I wouldn't understand. Here, let me help you with those. Ryan grabbed a knife and started slicing tomatoes beside me. You don't have to. I want to. Besides, it's nice to actually talk to someone. Jessica's been glued to her phone since we got here. I glanced outside. His wife sat alone on a patio chair, scrolling, looking bored. How's work been? Ryan asked. David mentioned you used to do graphic design. My throat caught. He mentioned that. Yeah, said you were really talented. Do you still do it? Not really. Not since the kids. I didn't add that David never asked about it anymore. That he'd forgotten I had interests beyond this house. That's a shame. You should get back into it. We talked while we prepped food. Really talked. He asked questions and waited for answers. Laughed at my jokes. Looked me in the eye like I was worth looking at. You look really beautiful today, by the way, he said quietly, so the others wouldn't hear. That color suits you. My face flushed hot. Thank you. I couldn't remember the last time David complimented me. After everyone left, I found myself thinking about that conversation more than I should have. About being seen. 3 days later, my phone buzzed. Ryan, hey, it's Ryan. Got your number from David's phone. Hope that's okay. Just wanted to say thanks again for Saturday. You're a great host. I should have deleted it. Should have told David. Should have done 100 things differently. Instead, I wrote back, thanks, glad you had fun. His response came quickly. How was your day? That simple question unraveled something inside me. When was the last time anyone asked how my day was? We texted throughout the week. Innocent stuff at first. Funny memes, comments about the weather. But slowly, the messages got longer. More personal. Ryan, I hope you know you're more than just a mom and wife. You're interesting and talented, and you deserve to be reminded of that. I stared at those words for 10 minutes. Me, thank you. I needed to hear that. Ryan, David doesn't tell you enough, does he? Me, he's busy. Ryan, too busy to appreciate what he has. The messages continued. Every day, sometimes late at night, when David was already asleep, and I was alone with my thoughts. Then came the message that changed everything. Ryan, I can't stop thinking about you. I sat on the edge of my bed, phone trembling in my hands. David snored softly beside me, dead to the world. My finger hovered over the keyboard. I should have said no. Should have stopped this before it started. But I was so tired of being invisible. Me, I think about you too. The coffee shop was across town, far enough that I wouldn't run into anyone I knew. Just coffee. I'd told myself that morning, pulling on jeans that actually fit, applying makeup for the first time in weeks. Just two friends talking. But when Ryan stood up from the corner table, smiling like I was the only person in the world, I knew I was lying to myself. You came, he said, pulling out my chair. I almost didn't. I'm glad you did. He pushed a latte across the table. Vanilla, right? You mentioned it was your favorite. He remembered. David didn't even know what coffee I drank anymore. We talked for 2 hours. About everything, my abandoned design dreams, his frustrations with his marriage, the loneliness we both felt. Somewhere in the conversation, his hand crossed the table and covered mine. I should have pulled away. I didn't. You deserve so much more than what you're getting, Emily. It's not that simple. I have kids, a life where you're miserable. His thumb traced circles on my palm. David doesn't see you, but I do. My heart hammered. Ryan, we can't, I know we can't, but he didn't let go of my hand. We met again the following Wednesday. David was at some tech conference in Seattle. The kids were at school. This time, Ryan picked me up in his car. Where are we going? I asked. Nowhere. I just wanted to see you. We parked overlooking the river. Talked for an hour about nothing and everything, and then, when the silence stretched too long, he leaned across the console. Tell me to stop, he whispered. I didn't. The kiss was soft at first, then desperate, like two drowning people gasping for air. I felt alive for the first time in years, desired, wanted, seen. When we finally pulled apart, guilt crashed over me. Oh God, what did we just do? Emily, I have to go. I have to. I fumbled for the door handle. Wait, please, he caught my wrist. I'm not sorry. I know I should be, but I'm not. I'm married, you're married, to people who don't see us anymore. I went home and scrubbed my hands until they were red, like I could wash away what I'd done. But when Ryan texted me that night, can I see you again? I said yes. 3 weeks later, we were in a hotel room downtown. I stood by the window, my reflection staring back at me in the glass. Ryan came up behind me, hands on my waist. We can stop, he said softly. If you want to stop, we stop. But I didn't want to stop. I wanted to feel wanted. I wanted to matter. What happened next destroyed everything. Afterward, lying in tangled sheets, the guilt was crushing. I need to go home. Stay a little longer. I can't. The kids, 5 more minutes. I gave him 10. When I walked through my front door an hour later, David was on the living room floor with Lily and Ethan, building a Lego castle. Mommy, Ethan crashed into my legs. Hey, baby. I forced a smile, avoiding David's eyes. We're making a princess castle, Lily announced. Daddy's helping. I watched them, my husband, my children, the life I was destroying, and the weight of it pressed against my chest until I couldn't breathe. David looked up. You okay? You look pale. Fine, just tired. I wasn't fine, but I also wasn't going to stop. I thought I was being careful. I deleted messages. I showered immediately after seeing Ryan. I lied about grocery runs and errands. But I wasn't as clever as I thought. You're on your phone a lot lately, David said one evening, his voice casual but his eyes sharp. What? No, I'm not. You are, even at dinner. I'm just texting Sarah, planning a girls' night. The lie came too easily now. David studied me for a long moment, then went back to his laptop without another word. But something had shifted. He started watching me, noticing things. You're wearing makeup to the grocery store now. I just felt like looking nice. You bought new clothes. My old ones didn't fit. Each question felt like a trap I was barely escaping. Then my mother called. Emily, I saw you at Rossi's last week, she said, her tone sharp. With a man who definitely wasn't David. My blood turned to ice. That was just. Don't lie to me. I raised you better than this. Mom, please don't. I'm not telling David, yet, but you need to fix whatever this is before you destroy your family. She hung up. That night, David sat at the dinner table, barely eating. When I told him I'd been at Mom's on Tuesday, his jaw tightened. That's funny, he said quietly. Your mom mentioned she saw you at a restaurant that day, with someone. The room spun. She must have been confused. Was she Emily? Yes, he didn't believe me. I could see it in his eyes. Meanwhile, Ryan was getting possessive. His texts became demanding. Ryan, when can I see you? It's been 3 days. Me, I can't right now. David's suspicious. Ryan, maybe we should just tell them, both of us. We could start over together. Me, what? No, that's not what this is. Ryan, what is this then? I didn't have an answer. Then Jessica called me. Emily, hi, it's Jessica, Ryan's wife. Her voice shook. I'm sorry to bother you, but do you know where Ryan's been? He's been so distant, and I thought maybe David mentioned something. Bile rose in my throat. No, I don't know, sorry. I was destroying her too. The lies piled up. The guilt grew heavier. But I couldn't stop until the night David cornered me in our bedroom. It was past midnight. I'd just gotten out of the shower, another attempt to wash away my sins, when he walked in holding his phone. Sit down, Emily. Something in his voice made my legs weak. What's wrong? Sit down. I sat on the edge of the bed. He pulled up our cell phone account, showed me pages of text logs, hundreds of messages between my number and Ryan's. How long? His voice cracked. How long have you been sleeping with my best friend? The room tilted. David, how long? I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe, answer me. Tears streamed down his face. How long have you been fucking Ryan? And just like that, my world ended. 6 months. The words fell out of my mouth like stones. 6 months, half a year of lies and hotel rooms, and destroying everything we'd built. David staggered backward like I'd punched him. 6 months. I'm so sorry. He laughed, a horrible broken sound. You're sorry. You've been screwing my best friend for 6 months, and you're sorry. Please, let me explain. Explain what? Explain how you could do this. How you could look me in the eye every day while you were. His voice broke. He pressed his palms against his eyes. I trusted you. I trusted him. I was lonely. The words burst out. You're never here, David. You work all the time. You don't talk to me. You don't see me. So you fucked my best friend. I just wanted to feel wanted. You are wanted, he roared. By your husband, by your children. But that wasn't enough for you, was it? I was crying now, ugly sobs that shook my whole body. I made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. A mistake is being late to dinner. This This is a choice. 6 months of choices. Please, David. He held up his hand. Pack your bags. What? Pack your bags. You're not sleeping in our bed tonight. You're not staying in this house. David, please, the kids. Don't you dare use our children as an excuse. His voice went cold, dead. You didn't think about them when you were in bed with Ryan, did you? I reached for him. He jerked away like I was diseased. Don't touch me. Don't ever touch me again. He pulled out his phone, dialed a number. Karen, it's David. I need you to come over. It's an emergency. No, the kids are fine. I'll explain when you get here. His sister. He was calling his sister. You'll sleep in the guest room tonight. Tomorrow, you find somewhere else to go. David, please, I'm done talking to you. He left me sitting on our bed, his bed now, and closed the door behind him. I didn't sleep. I lay awake in the guest room, staring at the ceiling, listening to David crying in the bedroom down the hall. The sound of his sobs was worse than any scream. Morning came too fast. Lily found me in the guest room. Mommy, why are you sleeping here? Daddy and I need some space, sweetie. Are you fighting? A little bit. Her face crumpled. I don't like it when you fight. I know, baby, I know. Downstairs, David's eyes were red and swollen. He didn't look at me. At noon, a man in a suit appeared at our door. Emily Harper. I'm Marcus Reed. I'm representing your husband in divorce proceedings. The word divorce hit like a sledgehammer. Marcus sat at our dining table, laying out papers with clinical efficiency. Mrs. Harper, in this state, adultery is considered in custody determinations. Given that you've admitted to a 6-month affair, I need to inform you that you're at a significant disadvantage. Custody, my voice came out strangled. David, you can't. You can't take my kids. You should have thought of that before. His voice was flat, emotionless. Marcus continued, we have documentation, text records, witness statements, hotel receipts. Your husband has been thorough. I looked at David. He stared at the wall. My phone buzzed. Ryan's name flashed on the screen. Are you kidding me? David snatched the phone. Read the message aloud. Jessica knows. This is a mess. I need space. He needs space. David laughed bitterly. How romantic. He threw the phone back at me. You wanted to feel wanted, Emily. His eyes finally met mine and they were empty. Now see how it feels to lose everything. Linda Vasquez had kind eyes, but they didn't lie to me. Mrs. Harper, I'm going to be straight with you. This is going to be difficult. We sat in her cramped office, surrounded by law books and case files. I'd found her online, read reviews about her compassion and fighting spirit, but even she looked worried. How difficult. Your husband has documentation of adultery, hotel receipts, text messages, witness statements from friends who saw you with Ryan Mitchell. In family court, this matters. But I'm a good mother. I take care of them every day. I believe you. But we need to prove it. And we need to show the affair was an aberration, not a pattern of selfish behavior. Selfish behavior. The words stung because they were true. What happens next? David's lawyer will present him as the stable, faithful parent. They'll argue the children need consistency. We'll counter that parental mistakes don't erase years of devoted motherhood. But Emily, she leaned forward, you need to prepare for the possibility that you might not get primary custody. The room spun. I can't lose my kids. Then we fight. But you need to be honest with me about everything. No surprises in court. Everything came out. The loneliness, the affair, how Ryan made me feel seen, the hotel rooms, the lies. Linda listened without judgment, taking notes. One more thing, she said. If anyone testifies against your character, it could hurt us, family, friends, anyone who might question your fitness as a parent. No one would. My phone rang. My mother. I answered, Mom, Emily, I've been asked to testify. Her voice was tight for David. The ground fell away. What? I told you to fix this. You didn't listen. Now I have to do what's right for Lily and Ethan. Mom, please. I'm deeply disappointed in you, Emily. Those children need stability, and right now, that's David. She hung up. My own mother, Emily. Linda touched my arm. What just happened? My mother's testifying for him. Linda's expression said everything. Over the next weeks, I watched my life systematically dismantled. My best friend Sarah stopped returning calls. She'd seen Ryan and me at a coffee shop 2 months ago and put the pieces together. The kids were evaluated by Dr. Rebecca Foster, a child psychologist. They spent an hour with her, answering questions about home life, who they felt safe with, who they wanted to live with. I wasn't allowed in the room. My supervised visitations started. David would drop Lily and Ethan at a community center where a court-appointed supervisor watched us interact for 2 hours every Saturday. Mommy, why don't we go home? Lily asked during our third visit. Because Mommy doesn't live at home right now, sweetie. Why not? How do you explain to a 6-year-old that you destroyed everything? Mommy made some mistakes. But Daddy makes mistakes too. He still lives home. It's complicated. Ethan climbed into my lap, sensing something was wrong, even if he couldn't name it. Mommy, I miss you. I miss you too, baby, so much. When David picked them up, he didn't speak to me. Just signed the paperwork, collected our children, and left. The coldness was worse than anger. Ryan sent one final text. Sorry it ended this way. 6 months, my marriage, my children's security, my entire life, reduced to, sorry it ended this way. That night, alone in my studio apartment that smelled like strangers, I stared at photos of Lily and Ethan on my phone until my vision blurred. I'd become exactly what my mother warned me not to be, and I had no one to blame but myself. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Colder. Judge Patricia Hernandez sat behind the bench, her face unreadable as both lawyers presented their cases. Marcus Ridd went first, painting me as selfish and unstable. Your Honor, Mrs. Harper engaged in a 6-month affair with her husband's closest friend. She lied repeatedly, exposing her children to instability. She prioritized her own desires over their well-being. Mr. Harper, meanwhile, has been the consistent parent working to provide for his family, maintaining the family home, ensuring continuity for Lily and Ethan. I watched David sit perfectly still, his jaw tight. Linda stood. Your Honor, Emily Harper made a mistake. A serious one, yes, but a mistake doesn't erase 7 years of devoted motherhood. She has been the primary caregiver since birth. She knows their routines, their fears, their needs. Adultery doesn't make someone a bad parent. It makes them a liar. Marcus shot back. Someone willing to deceive their family for 6 months. What message does that send to 2 young children? Dr. Foster's report came next. She spoke in calm, clinical terms. Both children show strong attachment to their father. Lily, age 6, expressed anxiety about making Mommy sad and making Daddy sad. She feels caught between them. Ethan, age 4, shows typical attachment but has been acting out since the separation tantrums, bedwetting. Both children need stability. Then the judge looked directly at me. Mrs. Harper, why should I grant you primary custody? I stood, my legs shaking. Because I love them, Your Honor. I know I made terrible choices, but I love my children more than anything. I've been there for every scraped knee, every nightmare, every first day of school. I'm their mother. Mr. Harper has been there too, the judge said, and he didn't betray his family. My voice broke. I know I did this, but please don't punish them because of my mistakes. This isn't punishment, Mrs. Harper. This is about what's best for Lily and Ethan. She reviewed the papers in front of her. The silence stretched forever. Finally, she spoke. Based on the evidence presented, the documented infidelity, the psychological evaluations, and the current stability each parent can provide, I am awarding full physical custody to Mr. David Harper. The words crashed over me, like a wave. Mrs. Harper will have supervised visitation every other weekend and Wednesday evenings. Phone contact with the children is permitted daily. The children's primary residence will be with their father. No, the word came out strangled. No, please, the gavel came down. This court is adjourned. I couldn't breathe. The room spun. I watched David's shoulders sag with relief, watched Marcus shake his hand, watched Linda touch my arm with pity in her eyes. I stumbled into the courthouse bathroom and vomited until there was nothing left. Collapsing against the cold tile, I finally understood. Everything I did to feel wanted had cost me the two people who wanted me most, my children. 6 months after the verdict, I was still trying to figure out how to breathe. My apartment was clean but empty. No toys scattered across the floor. No fingerprints on the windows. Just silence. Wednesday evening, I picked up Lily and Ethan for my court-approved dinner visit. David opened the door. A woman stood behind him, pretty blonde, smiling at my children like she had the right. "Hi, Emily," David said. "Civil, distant, kids, your mom's here." "Mommy." Ethan ran to me. Lily walked slower, more careful. She'd been building walls. I'd taught her that by breaking her trust. "Who's that?" I asked quietly, nodding toward the woman. "Rachel, we're seeing each other." Of course he was. He'd moved on. Why wouldn't he? At dinner, Lily picked at her food. "Not hungry, sweetie? Rachel made us mac and cheese yesterday." The name sat between us like broken glass. "That's nice. She's really good at cooking. She's a teacher. Lily wouldn't meet my eyes. She's nice. I'm glad you like her. What else could I say? She's taking my place. She gets to tuck you in every night while I sit alone." Ethan tugged my sleeve. "Mommy, can you come home?" "Not yet, baby." "When?" "Never. I don't know." When I dropped them back at David's house, my old house, I watched through the window as Rachel helped Lily with her jacket. My daughter laughed at something Rachel said. I drove back to my apartment and cried until my throat was raw. Therapy helped. Dr. Foster had recommended someone, and I went every Tuesday. "You're seeking external validation instead of building internal worth," my therapist said. "You confused attention with love. I just wanted to feel seen. So you destroyed the people who actually saw you, your children, your husband. The truth hurt." But it was true. I started seeing Ryan around town sometimes. We'd make eye contact, then quickly look away. I heard through mutual friends that he and Jessica divorced too. He moved to Portland shortly after. The wanted feeling lasted exactly as long as it took for the truth to come out. I wrote David a letter one night, crying over every word. "David, I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I'm writing because you should know that what I did was my fault, not yours. You were a good husband, a great father, and I threw it away because I was selfish and weak. I'm sorry doesn't cover it, but I am. I'm so sorry. You're an amazing father, and Lily and Ethan are lucky to have you. Emily." I left it in his mailbox. He never responded. My mother and I talked occasionally now. She apologized for testifying against me, said she thought it was best for the kids. I told her I understood. I didn't, but what was the point of fighting? Lily's school play was in March. I was allowed to attend. I sat rows behind David and Rachel, watching my daughter play a flower in the spring pageant. She was perfect, confident, and bright and thriving, despite me, not because of me. After the performance, Lily ran to David first. Then she saw me and came over. "Did you see me, Mommy? You were amazing, baby. I'm so proud of you." She hugged me, brief but genuine, and I held on like she was the only thing keeping me anchored to earth. As I drove back to my empty apartment, I finally understood. Feeling wanted means nothing if you destroy everyone who genuinely loved you to get it. 1 year post-divorce, I was surviving. Not thriving, not healed, but surviving. I got a job at a local bookstore. It was minimum wage, and my feet ached after every shift, but it was something. An identity beyond David's wife, or Lily and Ethan's mom. The supervised visitation was lifted, after I completed 6 months of counseling and maintained stability. The custody arrangement stayed the same. They lived with David, but now I could see them without a stranger watching. Small victories. I ran into Jessica at a coffee shop on a rainy Tuesday. We both froze. Emily, Jessica, hi. An awkward silence stretched. Can I sit down? She asked. Sure. She ordered a tea and settled across from me, her hands wrapped around the cup like she needed the warmth. I heard you and David divorced, she said quietly. Yeah, you and Ryan too. She nodded. 3 months after everything came out. Another silence. I'm sorry, I said finally, for everything, for what I did to your marriage. She studied me. Ryan did this before, you know. I found out later there were others. My stomach dropped. What? You weren't special, just convenient, available. She said it without malice, just stating facts. He finds lonely women and makes them feel seen. It's his pattern. I felt sick. I threw away my entire life for someone who specialized in manipulation. Yeah, me too. She took a sip of tea. I'm not saying this to hurt you. I'm saying it so you know. We were both victims of our choices, yeah, but also of someone who knew exactly what he was doing. Does that make it better? No, but it clarifies things. We talked for another hour, not friends, but two women who understood each other's mistakes. When we parted ways, she said, I hope things get better with your kids. You too. I hope you find happiness, working on it. My relationship with Lily and Ethan was slowly improving. Lily called me sometimes just to tell me about her day, her teacher, her friends, a book she was reading. Small things that meant everything. Ethan had stopped calling Rachel Mommy. He understood the difference now. I'd stopped hoping David would forgive me. Some betrayals don't get second chances. On Ethan's 5th birthday, David invited me to the party at his house. Rachel was there, along with David's family and the kids' friends. I felt like a guest in my old life. But I was grateful David didn't poison them against me. Grateful I was allowed to be there at all. I watched Ethan blow out his candles, surrounded by everyone who loved him, and felt something shift. Acceptance, maybe, or just exhaustion. Either way, I was learning to live with it. I'll never be the mother who tucks them in every night. That realization hits me every Wednesday evening when I drop Lily and Ethan back at David's house. I kiss their foreheads, watch them run inside to the life I'm no longer part of, and drive away. Rachel tucks them in now. Rachel sees them off to school. Rachel is their first call when something exciting happens. I'm the every other, weekend mom, the special occasion guest, the one they love but don't need. Some nights the regret is suffocating. I lie in bed replaying everything, every text to Ryan, every hotel room, every lie, and wonder what would have happened if I'd just been brave enough to talk to David. If I'd told him I felt invisible, if I'd suggested counseling, if I'd had the courage to fix my marriage instead of destroying it. But I didn't, and I can't rewind time. I write in a journal now, letters to my younger self, warnings I wish someone had given me. Marriage takes work. Not passion, not excitement. Work. Feeling wanted starts with wanting yourself. Attention from the wrong person costs everything. Some mistakes don't get fixed. They just teach you who you want to be. I'm learning that redemption isn't the same as forgiveness. I can show up for every visitation, be present during my limited time, respect David's boundaries, support his relationship with Rachel, be the best version of myself, but that doesn't erase what I did. Forgiveness might never come from David, from my kids, from myself. And I'm learning to accept that. Last Wednesday, after I dropped Lily and Ethan off, Lily turned back at the door. Mommy, yeah, baby, I love you. She said it quietly, almost shyly, like she wasn't sure she was allowed. I knelt down, pulling her into a hug. I love you too. So much. I know you made mistakes. Daddy told me everyone makes mistakes. My throat closed. That's true. Are you trying to be better? Every single day. Okay. She kissed my cheek. Bye, Mommy. I watched her go inside, watched the door close on the life I used to have. As I drove away, I looked in the rear view mirror at the house that used to be mine, at the family I broke, at the man who used to love me standing in the doorway with the woman who replaced me. And I made a promise. I'll spend the rest of my life earning back whatever pieces of their trust I can. Not because I deserve it, but because they deserve a mother who finally understands. Being wanted means nothing if you don't protect what you have. I can't undo the damage, can't turn back time, can't be forgiven for the unforgivable, but I can be better. I can show up, I can love them from the margins, and maybe someday that will be enough. Not for redemption, not for forgiveness, just for them to know I tried.